The fabulous Las Vegas Rotary Club. Our club continues to make a difference by teaching youth to succeed through literacy, education, and life skills development. My name is Michael Gordon, and I'm proud to serve as the 95th president of the greatest Rotary Club in the world. I went to Rotary Zone training this past weekend, and I can say we are the greatest Rotary Club in the world. So, to open our meeting today, I would like to call to the front Blake Myers.
Thank you, President Michael. Please join me in prayer. God and Father, as we break bread together, we thank you for the opportunities that come to us here, not only to partake of these fruits of the earth, but also to share the fruits of our fellowship, our friendship, and our common ideals as Rotarians. We ask your blessing on the Las Vegas Rotary Club, that it may ever be a bearer of worthy goals and noble purposes, spelling progress and betterment for our community, nation, and humanity. Amen.
And our song leader today is Bob Fisher.
Now for something different. Oh, this one's different. Together. Not too fast. 2 today, 2 next month. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. Keep it up. Anchors away, my boys. Anchors away. Farewell to foreign shores. We sail at break of day. Drink to the flame until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Bum, ba, bum. All right.
Coast Guard, anybody? Okay. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Thank you. You may be seated. Our Sergeant at Arms today is Arlene Serwa, and she is going to jump right into action with our introduction of our International Visiting Rotarian.
President Michael, it's a great honor for me to introduce to you from Japan. She's here on vacation with her children and her husband, and she doesn't speak that much English, so she's going to say something in Japanese.
皆さんこんばんは。今日は招待していただいたメイクアップのために来ました。このラスベガスはとてもいいところだと思います。ラスベガス is very good place because my family is very enjoyed. Thank you very much.
どうもありがとう。
Thank you. Let's get the picture there.
And she's going to have a flag to take home.
Okay. And then let's move on to visiting Rotarians. Any visiting Rotarians? Oh, there's one back here. Hold on. It's coming.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everyone. I bring you. My name is Ryan Curo. I bring you greetings from the Rotary Club of Peoria North, Peoria, Illinois.
Welcome. Welcome.
I'm Karen Wisenhunt, and from our family of Rotary, I am honored to introduce our guest, Pili Bianco. And she is our student from Argentina. And on behalf of her and myself, thank you all for your great donations to the cookie drive to help her with some funding issues. And your donations, of course. Tony just stepped up with a $100 check, and we really appreciate it. So I'll let Pili say a few words.
Okay. Well, same as Karen, thank you very much for support the program and for your donations and your cookies that you buy. I'm so happy to be here, and this club is so amazing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to guests of Rotarians. Any guests of Rotarians?
Hello, everyone. Aaron Campilio here. My guest today is Paul Raymer. Paul's just got a heart to do good and make a difference, and I'm really glad he can be my guest today.
Right behind you there.
I'd like to welcome a lady who's no stranger to our club, Mary Martinez. Many of you welcome, Mary. Dr. Harold Boyer.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, fellow members of the Las Vegas Rotary. My guest today is Michael Skinner. Michael is a business entrepreneur. He is a coach for small businesses. He's active in the downtown entrepreneurial scene. He's also a yoga coach, like that. And most importantly, he dates my girlfriend's daughter. So, Michael Skinner. Welcome.
There is one back there.
And I am pleased to welcome back Chris Wall. Chris has been with us before, and he's looking at our club and filled out an application, which I'm really excited about today. And he is General Manager of Channel 13. Okay, I had to say that right. Here we go. Yeah, welcome.
And then there's one more right here, Arlene.
I would like to introduce my wife, Major Cheryl Kinnaman. And, of course, we're quite busy now getting ready for the busy time of our year. And so I thought she deserved a lunch out with Rotary today.
And then I would like to introduce my two guests at the head table. We have with us here Kim Nioni, who is one of our newer members, who has only been in Las Vegas for 5 months. He is a career higher education fundraising professional, which began at UC Berkeley. Carolyn Sparks, where are you? Berkeley, yes. Then moved on to Washington University, Utah State, Arizona, Mizzou, and now he is the Associate Vice President of Forward Development at UNLV. He's originally from Tanzania by way of Lincoln, Nebraska, and he describes himself, Tom Krob and Jim Hunt, he describes himself as a cigar aficionado, a wine connoisseur, and a bow tie enthusiast. I think you found the right club, right? I think he's good. And joining Kim is past President Jim Tucker, who joined our club in 1992, served as president of the 25 Club, and then club president in 2002-2003. He has streamlined many of our club's admin tools by creating our current roster. He developed the layout of the wheel with the ad content to help cover the printing costs and digitized our database. He still serves as the roster editor, bullet creator, and club photographer. And Jim has asked to make a special presentation, so I'm going to call him to the front.
Thank you, Michael. My mentor that tried to get me to join this club in about 85, but at that time I was running a business, and you know how it is. He then came back and asked me to join in 1992, of which I did, and that was Joe Ryan. If you all remember Joe Ryan, he was a past postmaster. He was a Chamber of Commerce prospector for many years, and he was a wonderful guy and a very good friend of me and my wife's. And so I'm making a donation to the Las Vegas Rotary Foundation in memory of Joe. And anybody can do that, and it doesn't matter whether it's $10 or $5,000. Just try to help the club out. Thank you, Joe. Love you, Joe.
Thanks, Jim. I would like to thank the following Rotarians who helped set up today: Jackie Thornhill, Bob Warner, Tyler and Jamel as our greeters, John and Marie, of course, for our tickets. Our invocation was Blake Myers. Who knows who the song leader was? I mean, I think people just kind of jumped in, right? So I would like to read a letter that we received from the Rotary Club of North Las Vegas, and it says, "Dear Michael, our members, too, were deeply affected by the unthinkable event on October 1st. As a response to the lead taken by the Rotary Club of Las Vegas to assist those in need, our members individually donated $250 at our meeting of October 20th. Enclosed is our check for that amount payable to the Las Vegas Rotary Foundation." So we still get support from the club for our efforts. Arlene, if you could jump back up and give the microphone to past President Kathy Delvey. Where are you, Kath? Oh, or she's coming up. While she's coming up, Joan Murdoch had a knee replacement, and there is a card going around for her, so please make sure you sign it.
And according to our bylaws, today we are presenting the slate of officers that we are going to vote on next week. So, and then this year we are also going to vote electronically. You'll be getting an email that later this week to vote electronically. Something new, we're not going to vote with paper. So what I'd like to do is have everybody take a look at the slate of officers and have a motion from the floor. Second? Okay, I'd like him. Okay, well, that's good. Everybody in favor, raise your hand. Okay.
Right? That's how it works. So, as Kathy said, 2 weeks ago, we all voted to approve a change changes to our bylaws, and one of those changes was electronic voting. We are finally making it to the 21st century. 17 years late, but we're making it. So electronic voting will commence this coming week, so look out for that email. I also want to remind you, we are meeting next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. If you show up on Thursday, we are sorry, but you should be with your family for Thanksgiving. We appreciate the family of Rotary, but we are meeting next Wednesday for the Kiwanis meeting. I would also suggest you show up a little earlier because it's going to be a full meeting and parking is going to be at a premium. So show up early and claim your parking spot. Now, if you could take the microphone to Marie Walsh for feedback on Breakfast with Books.
Thank you, Michael. Another successful Breakfast with Books. We had a total of 292 people yesterday, which is really phenomenal. We had 181 children and 111 adults. I'd like to thank all the people that came and gave us a hand. It was wonderful, and we also had students from UNLV, and I think they had a good time also. But thank you all very much.
Sure. Thanks for organizing that, Marie, as always. And then Jerry Engel is going to give our update on the foundation. Are you coming to the front, Jerry? Or there? Jerry wants the front. Without the ladder, he claims.
Okay, I've been asked as a member of the foundation, Las Vegas Rotary Foundation, to just give you a little update on some of the things to think about. Now, I started in my estate planning field in 1965, and my first seminar was on charitable remainder trusts. And I was very impressed and dedicated myself to specialize in that area. But since then, I've learned an awful lot. I've attended hundreds of conferences and seminars and lectures. And I can tell you that there is so much more to estate planning than this charitable remainder trust. There's CLTs, there's charitable deed trusts, and there's CRUTs and CRATs and NIMCRUTs and NIMCRATs and BEDITs and estate asset protection trust. So many areas to go. But what I want to talk to you about today is especially the charitable remainder trust, because that's where all of you can really get involved. We know that most of you are in an estate planning mode, building up your estates to be comfortable. But there are some of you who have reached that point where you are comfortable. You don't really need to worry about how to sustain yourself. And that's what we call the core values. When you develop an estate, you have a core value of enough to carry yourself, to keep your standard of living, and hopefully never have to go back to your children for help. But what I'd like to do is address those that are in the upper echelon, where you've arrived, where you have your core values and you have an excess, which is your legacy values. And that's where you can really take advantage and help the foundation. And that's when you don't have to write a check. You can just create a trust, do your planning, control it, live off the income. All you're really saying is, when I die, I want so much to go to Las Vegas Rotary. And what I'd like to do is offer to anybody who has reached that level, who would like to explore it more, I'd be very happy to meet with you on a personal basis, fully confidential, and of course at no charge. But if you are so inclined to leave something to Las Vegas Rotary Foundation, I'd be very happy to offer you my service. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that kind offer, Jerry. And as you guys know, we are moving closer to our $2 million goal for our foundation, and that is what we're trying to achieve. I would now like to call to the front Jackie Thornhill for a presentation. And while she's coming to the front, I would like to reiterate what Pilar Blanco said, our youth exchange student. She is selling cookies, and she needs your help. So I think she has some samples back there.
Hi, everyone. May I ask Melanie Muldowney to come forward, please? Today I'm going to present Melanie Muldowney with her Paul Harris +1.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay, let's please enjoy a quick 6 minutes for lunch and fellowship. It's the first time Katie Decker has been at a loss for words. Should I move to her? Should I move to her? Or are you ready? Okay. No worries. Katie Decker is doing something amazing and in pictures, but we have her here today, so Madam Sargent, while we're working through the technical issues, Katie can give her update in person.
All right, you know, as soon as I start talking, it's going to start talking, but then you can hear me in stereo. All right, so I brought with me today 3 amazing educators. This is my team first grade from Bracken, Long, and Hollingsworth. From Bracken, we have Rebecca Fleckenstein, who has taught kinder and pre-K for me, and now she has joined the first grade team. I have Sherry Ross from Howard Hollingsworth, and she is also on our first grade team there. And I have Kang Lin. Kang, you get a bell. And she's been with me over at Walter Long for a couple years now and loving every minute of it. So today, I know we're here, so you can't be there, but Zappos has a huge farmers market today. Bracken and Long students have harvested some wonderful produce, so they are selling that this morning over at Zappos. And our school garden program is going amazing. We just got 3 huge grants from the Department of Agriculture. Bracken got $10,000, Long got $7,500, and Hollingsworth got $6,500 to help with our gardening program and getting materials and tools for the kids. So very, very exciting, and everything is going well at all 3 campuses, and we're so excited that tomorrow's Friday and we get a week off.
Well, did you try it? Okay.
We've been able to completely change the lives of thousands of children at Walter Bracken and now at Walter Long and also at Will Beckley. I do believe that the solution to our biggest problems in education lies at the elementary level, at the point where they're just becoming those initial readers. It really is about the culture that we create in the schools to promote education and literacy and enthusiasm for learning and high student engagement. Taking over Walter Long, as I walked into the school, the perception was that of a prison. White walls, a chute that the children walk down into school and parents not allowed in. We changed all that. It's a completely different space. It's colorful, it's engaging, it's got book characters and Dr. Seuss and powerful quotes that you're awesome and smile and, work together as a team and collaborate. Changing the climate, it changes everything. We were able to completely turn that school around, and it really traces back to Rotary, all stemming from going to a Rotary lunch and having Alan Diskin from Junior Achievement ask me if I could keep 250 people busy for 4 hours if they gave us $20,000 of support. It completely changed everything for me as a leader in knowing that you have a whole team of people in the community that will come in and you can work together, and in 4 hours you can change a whole school. And so now you get kids that walk in and instead of drudging through the halls, they're smiling, they're skipping, they're high-fiving, they're engaged in their environment and the climate. Everybody just chips in. And the kids see that. They see that team. They know that they're not alone. They know that everybody wants them to be successful. That message alone is incredibly powerful.
I guess I can't really say how we could do it without Rotary.
Thank you, Katie Decker, for being a great partner. You thank us, but thank you. I know Bill Houghton isn't here today, and some of you have asked about ordering new polos and clothing. There is a clothing order shirt somewhere. I don't know where. Sean has it. If you would like to order Rotary clothing, please see Sean for an order shirt. If you could take the microphone, please, to Ted McAdam for an update on our member, Ty Hilbrecht.
Thank you, President Michael. I had the privilege of dropping in to see Ty Hilbrecht today before I came over here. I'll share with you, I've been visiting with Ty the last couple of months, several of us in this room have done the same thing, and I've been very discouraged about Ty. Today, he was sitting up working with a speech therapist. She is trying to get him to remember things and provides clues, and there's a lot of response, and Ty was actually smiling, swore a couple of times, chuckled, recognized me. So, in my opinion, Ty has made some significant progress in the last week. And I'm not telling you he's out of the woods. He has a long way to go. But if you have some time, Las Ventanas, room 116, the building in back off of Charleston, he'd love to see you. Drop in and say hi. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If you could take the microphone to past President Jim Hunt to talk about one of our favorite days of the year.
Thank you, Michael. Things are coming together quite well. It's hard to believe that in 3 short weeks we'll be having Santa Claus. For those of you that are starting to see the decorations, everybody's starting to get geared up pretty good. We're looking pretty good with volunteers right now. We're not asking anybody to shift. The only thing I'd ask you to do, if you would, is if you know that you've signed up for, let's say, 6, and you know that 2 now are going to be out of town, adjust that on the cards or let Sean know, please. Or if you're going to have 4 more that you weren't counting on, great. Let Sean know or put it on the sign-up sheets. It's very important for us to juggle the numbers. We have to have the right number of kids. And for those of you who aren't familiar with our program, we're going to be shopping for a record 364 kids this year, buying them shoes, socks, underwear, and jackets. And then we're also adding 5 students from UNLV for 369 total invitees this year. So at 3 malls shopping simultaneously on December 7th, at the JCPenney stores at Galleria, the Grand Canyon, and the Meadows Mall. Please make sure you sign up if you haven't. Bring your friends. We need help. Thanks.
Thank you. And then we have the holiday party. Jamie, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you. The information is in the wheel. Please RSVP to Sean by November 22nd. Sorry, Jackie Thornhill, I'm going to cut you too. Wetzel Award is next 2 Thursdays from today. November 30th, the information is in the wheel. If you could take, or actually, Eric Estromicki, if you could come to the front to talk about our canned food drive. But as you come to the front from the club, I would like to present to you, sir, a check for $625. Every week we give a Share What You Can award to our speaker, and we would like to present this to go to the canned food drive.
Awesome. Thank you. So most of you guys know we've had the canned food drive going on since July when we kicked it off. Not including this, when I was just counting up, we've raised around $6,800. So this would probably push us close to around that $7,300 mark right now, which is huge. With that being said, we have a couple days left. We wrap up next Wednesday, not Thursday. The Salvation Army truck will be here, so bring all of your canned goods. We'll be loading those in the truck. If you want to make any final donations, the Green Book is still going around. We have 1 week to really finish up strong and really make sure we can have the biggest impact this year. If you have any questions on how you can be a part of it, or if you're not going to make it next week and you have some cans you want to donate, we even had some Rotarians that brought cans today. I loaded them in the Jeep. Whatever we can do to make this successful, let me know, reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing everyone here next week. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And then Bob Fisher, quickly.
And I'm standing by the Salvation Army, which is the centerpiece. The 13th to the 15th of December, from 8 a.m. to approximately 4 p.m., that is when everything's going to be set up. Keep in mind, we are giving toys out to 5,000 children. And the actual date, if you want to be there when it's given out, is Saturday, December 16th. And that is from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. And I want to make a special note. In a very, very loving act today, Jackie, in the name of her father, Jack Harris, has donated a bicycle.
Thank you for organizing that. And before we wrap up, we quickly need to raise some money, and we have to do this. So I wasn't here last week, but I heard somebody made an announcement. So if you could take the microphone to Sarah Brown. you're not going to get away and move without donating some money. So I know you said it's because of your husband and where you're going, but maybe you can tell us how much it snowed there already, and maybe we can use that as a multiplier for your fine.
I would be happy to do so. I had a gentleman come by to do a move estimate Monday, and he said, "You realize you're moving to upstate New York in the winter?" I said, "Yes, I'm aware of that. Thank you." It does snow, on average, over 200 inches a year. So, but I'm happy to donate that.
So $200 to our foundation.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sarah Brown.
Thank you.
And then right next to her is Doug Grant. If you could give him the microphone and say, "Sir, congratulations. I don't know, by omission or commission, you are now a new business owner."
Yes, I am. I'm going to be filling Sarah's place with FranNet. So if you guys are interested in franchising, come see me.
And just for that plug, I'm going to fine you $95. So thank you, sir, for your donation to our foundation. Our total today is $1,295 plus the take. So the ticket that's going to draw for the Joker is 3822129. 2129. Sharon McNair, past president Sharon McNair. Thank you. The pot continues. Here you go, Sharon. Sharon. Here we go. And for our Larry Bucks, the number is 3822107. 2107. Sarah Brown. Maybe a farewell dinner?
Exactly.
Oh. Pause and smile. Congratulations.
And may I donate these for someone else? Because I mean, I could still use them.
Do you want to redraw, or do you want to just give it for the holiday party?
To the holiday party.
Okay, sure. Sarah has graciously donated her winnings to the holiday party. So if you haven't signed up for the holiday party now, there's even more incentive to sign up. So to introduce our speaker, I would like to invite to the front our newly wedded groom, Tim Mullen, who's going to share the secrets for a long marriage.
All right. Anyone have the secrets for a long marriage? All righty then. So today I have the privilege of introducing our guest speaker, who is a true community leader, a man who's not afraid to use the resources of his department to step up when needed, whether it's after the events of 1 October, whether it's getting his firefighters out in the streets with boots collecting money for charitable events, or opening up his firehouses as a safe place for runaway, abandoned, and abused teenagers. He's always willing to step up and make our community even better. So please give a warm welcome to the Chief of the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue Department, Chief Willie McDonald.
Well, it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's really a privilege to be able to address the Rotarians. Former Rotarian myself from 1989 to 2013. I really loved my time as a Rotarian, so it's a real honor for me to be able to be here with you today. I have a few slides that I'd like to share with you, but I would invite that if you have questions or something that you want to ask me about along the way, I'd invite you to do that. I appreciate it, actually, so that I can make sure that I follow or answer all of the questions that you may have about Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. And I guess the first question is, how do I make it go? Okay. Down arrow. Okay. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. What I plan to cover is all of the services we provide, the things that we're working on right now, the new services that we plan to get into or that we're embarking on right now, and as well some of the big challenges that we have. I entered the fire service in 1978. Somebody at the table asked me, how'd you get in the fire service? Well, it was because some firefighters hosted a Pop Warner football team when I was a young man, and they were the coaches, they were the sponsors. They had a very positive influence on me way back then, and they encouraged me to become a firefighter. So in my hometown of Fresno, California, I became a firefighter in 1978. Fresno? What? Fresno? No. I went to McLean. Okay. Yeah. I graduated in I became a firefighter in 1978. Was very fortunate to rise through the ranks there. They trained me as a paramedic. They trained me as a fire captain. I ultimately ended up as a deputy chief in Fresno. Keeps going backwards. Did I do that? Okay. It actually isn't showing what. And I'm a technology genius. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, maybe go back one. There we go. Okay. Entered the fire service in 1978. Was appointed as a fire chief in a small Bay Area community, Foster City, in 1993. Then in the neighboring community of San Mateo in 1996. Invited to be the fire chief in Fremont, California in 2002. Then I had a really great opportunity in 2004. I was invited to the city of Scottsdale, who everybody's heard of Scottsdale. And when they called me and said, what do you know about Scottsdale? I said, I'm a San Francisco Giant fan. That's where they do spring training. And that literally was all I knew about Scottsdale. But they didn't have a fire department as recently as 2005. And so we organized a fire department. All the employees, all of the equipment, all of the stations, all of those kind of things. Got that done in 1 year, and we launched the Scottsdale Fire Department on July 1st, 2005 at midnight. So that was one of the greatest opportunities I think I've ever had. Left Scottsdale in 2010, became the fire chief in the city of San Jose, California, and then I was honored to be able to come here. I was invited here in 2013. My educational background, I'm a Fresno State Bulldog. I graduated from Fresno State. I have a master's degree in business administration, and I was also invited to attend Harvard University on a fellowship for state and local government officials, as well as Arizona State University. I have a certified public management degree from there. About Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, and if I didn't say it before, let me just say this. I am the extraordinarily proud fire chief of the city of Las Vegas. Our men and women of our organization are completely dedicated to serving the community, and they are committed to providing the highest levels of service that we can. And in addition to that, our relationship with our neighboring public safety partners, Las Vegas Metro, North Las Vegas Fire, Clark County Fire, Henderson Fire, and all the law enforcement agencies at the state level as well as the federal level have a great working relationship here. And that really paid dividends when October 1 happened. There was such a relationship there that we were able to really respond to that emergency in a way that I think was, it made me very proud to be a member of the organization and a member of the first responders that are in this community. Thank you. Thank you. We have 20 fire stations across the city, and I'll show you the map of where those are. And the reason that fire stations are located throughout the community is because one of the most important services that we provide is speed. Trying to get to you as quickly as we possibly can so that we can have a much better outcome to whatever the emergency is done by placing fire stations close to where we're going to respond. So our fire stations are located all throughout the community where we think we're going to be responding. We have at least 2 advanced life support units in every one of our fire stations, so paramedics on all of those, and they can respond independently. We have a special operations unit. I'll show you a couple of pictures of some of the things those guys get involved in, and they're also a part of a FEMA task force They were deployed this year to the hurricanes in Houston as well as in Florida. We have a hazardous materials response team. We have CBRN. CBRN stands for chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive. We have units that respond to those kinds of incidents and are supported by the rest of the department. A full fire and life safety bureau that makes sure that we build and maintain our buildings as safe as we possibly can. And we have a combined communications center, which is really important because we have the access and the knowledge of where all of the resources are for the North Las Vegas, and the Clark County Fire Departments. So those units can be sent, no matter what the jurisdiction is, they can be sent to the closest unit can be sent to an emergency, and they can get there as quickly as possible. So this is a map of the city, and this shows where all of our resources are. And you can see that we tried to place them so that we have just a very short distance to respond to the different parts of the community. And again, that's all about time. Getting to an emergency fast isn't driving fast. It's making sure those resources are where they are needed to be. And so that's why we have the stations all over the city like this. You don't need to be a fire guy to see that this is a great location for a fire station. It's probably the best location in the city for a fire station, but there isn't one there. There used to be one there, and we decided we would close it down several years ago. And so through the guidance and leadership of our council, they've asked us to reopen that fire station, so we will reopen that fire station to that area of town right after the beginning of the calendar year. This is a background about the different pieces of equipment that we have. I know this sounds kind of basic, but let me just kind of make some clarifications. Fire engine, that's what this is. If we only had one thing, it would be one of these, and it would have firefighters going to emergencies. This has water on it, a water tank. It has a pump to pump up the hydrant pressure, and it has hose. That's what makes it a fire engine. That's opposed to this thing that's a fire truck. Fire trucks have equipment on them. They're like giant rolling toolboxes, and they have ladders. And so they are for forcible entry. They're for getting to high locations. They're for shoring up areas that are have a potential of caving in. So these guys actually are the support personnel that provide access for the guys on fire engines. I mentioned that we have a technical rescue team. These guys are amazingly talented in terms of their abilities and their capabilities to provide services. And they do it from some very amazing places. So we are the rescue team that provides services for the high roller. At the top of the high roller, it's 560 feet. If there were to lose power in the high roller, the only way to get them out after all of the backups fail is for us to go up and get them. So we have one of the few Ferris wheels that are this large in the world. In fact, this is the tallest one there is. There's one that's being constructed in England somewhere. I think it's in Paris, that's going to be a little taller than ours, and I guess that's kind of what it is that you want to build one that's taller than everybody else's. But anyway, ours is 560. Others that are having them built are New York City, and there's one already built in Orlando, Florida. So we were asked if we could provide some training for some of the folks who might provide rescues in those other areas. Our technical rescue team has great qualifications, and they also are recognized throughout the country. And as a result of that, the designer of the high roller involved our team in designing built-in mechanisms that help us provide rescue for people who would be trapped. So this is a group of folks who came from other fire departments to learn about how we do our rescues here. You can see how big the paws are if you haven't ridden on one of those. So we loaded them up. Our guys get there by climbing up the legs. They climb up the spindles to get to the middle there, the middle of the Ferris wheel, which is about 300 feet off the ground. And then they climb out onto this platform. And there's a crane up there that you probably can't see, but the crane then helps lift up the rest of their rescue equipment that they're going to use, because they can only carry so much on their back because they're inside these tubes climbing up to that spindle. So now you think about it, what they do at that point is once they get up there and they're ready to get out to the pods, they have to slide down to the outside of the wheel because you can't slide up, right? So you so you have to slide down the out to the outer edge, and that's what they're doing there. And then they get out to the outside. That's one of our guys who is up on the top of the uppermost pod. Once they get out to the outside of the wheel, then at some point they have to unhook from their system, and they have to get to the outside because there's a ladder around the outside of the Ferris wheel. And I say they slide down, so they have to lean back like this to climb to get to that middle pod. They go one at a time from that point. There's maybe 40 people in a pod. They have to take them down one at a time. They say, these guys are crazy. Yeah. And that's what it looks like from the top. Yes, 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 sir. Sorry. So the question was, is this a drill or a rescue? We trained here frequently, and so before they open, about 10 o'clock in the morning, our guys assemble there about 7, and they go through this training to just maintain their skill level and make sure that they've got it all down what they're supposed to be doing. I can't imagine that. We have not had a rescue there yet. Thank you. Well, just a small premium pay for those guys to maintain their skills. Okay, so on to the other kinds of pieces of equipment that we have. This is a rescue. This is what we have the most of. We have most of our calls, many of our calls are medical calls. And so we have 24 of these, and there's throughout the community. And in some places, we have more than one. Most places, most fire stations, we just have one of these. But in a couple of places where it's really busy, like the downtown fire station on Casino Center, we have 3 of them. We have a couple in other places. And these are what we primarily use to transport our patients to the hospital. We have 750 employees. Our budget's about $130 million. We have a variety of personnel that we have that supports our mission of providing services to our community. That includes emergency response personnel, but we also have fire prevention personnel. We also have mechanics. We also have communication specialists. We also have inspectors. We also have folks that do training, and we also have people who maintain our radios. And one of the biggest things that we're having to do right now is we're having to recruit people. And we've had just a number of retirements over the last couple of years because for many of you who have been here for a long time, you know that we had some major growth maybe about 20 or so years ago to the community. And so in order to be able to keep up with that, we started hiring big groups of employees all at the same time, 50 employees at a time where we would be hiring and training to be firefighters. And what ends up happening is they all go through their career, they get older, and they all retire at the same time. So we are recruiting continuously. We do 2 recruit academies every year. We just graduated one in November, and we have another one starting in January. So anybody who's interested in being a fireman, if you know someone, though, if you know someone, we're really looking for some really folks who have a real interest in providing service to the community. That's the kind of people that we're looking for. Yes. Yes, we do. We have about 40 on the department of, not counting our communications specialists. Women firefighters. We have our highest ranking woman is an assistant chief. We have 2 battalion chiefs, and we have a couple of captains that are also on the department, plus paramedics and firefighters. We also have a Citizens Academy, of which President Michael graduated from this last year. And that's a wonderful group of folks. They spend about 9 weeks with us, I think it is. Every Thursday night they come over on their own time, and we try to introduce them to as much of the department as we possibly can, and then we try to keep a relationship with them afterwards so that we can, have opportunities for them to be involved in some of the activities that we do or outreach that we do with our community. And so it's a great program. We do one a year. We've done about 20 of them by now. And on our website, you can get information about that if you might have an interest in participating. Usually about May, right? About May. I wanted to talk a little bit about our partnership with our other agencies in the valley. Besides the fire departments, and as I say, we have a combined communication center. And why that's important is because if we are ready to send someone to an emergency, if somebody reports an emergency and it happens to be near our borders, there may be a neighboring agency whose resources closer than we are. And that's all about time. And so we have a communication center that has the knowledge of the status of all of the resources for all those fire departments I mentioned, North Las Vegas, Clark County, and ours, where they are in real time. They have automatic vehicle locators on them. And so we can grab those folks and we can send one or several to an emergency, and they might be from all three of those jurisdictions. And that really just helps us provide better service. And if you can imagine, it takes probably 8 or 10 units to put out a house fire. And so depending upon where that is in our community, that can really draw a lot of resources out of a large area of the community. So if it is near a border, we get the benefit of having resources from our neighboring agencies to provide some assistance, and then they also will help us backfill some of those stations so we can continue to provide service. I might mention that, This is where all the fire stations are in the valley. Ours are the red ones, the black ones are Clark County, and the blue ones are North Las Vegas. So you can see some of these are pretty close to borders. And so, again, that ability to dispatch them and knowing where they are in real time really provides for us to provide great service to our community. I wanted to talk a little bit about, though, things that we're trying to do to improve the services that we provide. This is kind of a projection of what we think might happen if we continue to provide services where you call and say there's an emergency, primarily a medical emergency. If you call and say there's a medical emergency, and our normal practice is to send a rescue out to that call, red lights and siren, evaluate the person, and then put them in the back and take them to the hospital. That doesn't always provide them with the service that they need. In some cases, people have chronic issues that don't really need to be seen at an emergency room. Sometimes they have behavioral issues. Sometimes they have social issues that they really need some other kind of agency or service. And so we've tried to develop programs that will allow for us to provide those in a different way. That's what we had 115,000 calls for service last year, so we're one of the busiest fire departments in the country. What we've started to do is develop partnerships with other agencies and other institutions throughout the valley to try to find better ways to serve our residents. We started a couple of years ago a partnership with UNLV, their School of Social Services, master's students, and those folks do internships with us every year. We usually get 3 or 4 or 5. We started off with 2. And how it works is those folks come in and they work in our office. And when our firefighters go out on an emergency or a medical call, and they determine that this person doesn't have an acute injury, and in fact they may have some other issue that needs different services, they flag that address and they turn that over to the social worker students. And those folks do follow-up with them, and they find out what exactly is the issues that they have, and they try to connect them with the right service so that they get the service they need, not go into an ER. And in some cases, we would see some people 2 or 3 times a day or maybe even 10 times a week. So what we're trying to do is provide them with the service that they really need. So we have that relationship with UNLV. We now have in our dispatch center, we have a nurse that's on duty that if you call and you say, this is wrong with me, under certain circumstances, that person can be transferred directly to the nurse in our dispatch center. And the nurse can do an evaluation over the phone and make a determination whether or not you need us to be sending a rescue out to your house, or maybe there's some other way that we can provide you service. And in many cases, we have a relationship with Lyft. If they need to go somewhere and maybe their own doctor, we'll send a Lyft unit out there. They'll pick them up. We'll pay for it, and they'll take them off to that whatever that location may be. We are now in the process of training a couple of our paramedics, and we got a law changed a few years ago so that we would be able to respond on a scheduled basis to people's homes. We weren't able to do that before. Our plan is to send one paramedic out to meet with people at their homes and help them with either their meds, taking their meds, or making sure that they're eating correctly, or making sure that they've already received their meds. Any other kinds of non-emergency kinds of things that we can do for them that will keep them out of the hospital and keep them out of the emergency room. I kind of wanted to, in fact, I'll just ask you, this is a chart of, I believe this was in 2016. These are high 911 users. What this chart's telling you is that we had 34 people who we responded to over 20 times in a year. And so we just keep going to see them over and over and over again, and what ultimately ends up happening is we're not really serving them unless we can get them to the right agency. We did respond to, clearly we responded to the October 1 shooting. And it's, in the time that I've been a firefighter, it's been a completely different mindset for our organizations on how we could provide that level of service. In the past, we would, as a fire department, we would stand out in a staging area. We'd get dispatched to an incident of a shooting at wherever it might be, say a high school or something like that, a shopping mall. We'd wait outside until the police were able to come in and clear that location. Sometimes that could take hours. And what we were finding as we did the research over the years is that these folks come in, do the shooting, they kind of go in one direction. The wounds are penetrating, and the people who are injured are either seriously injured or they're going to die quickly. And we don't have a couple of hours to wait for them for us to come in and then provide services to them. So 3 years ago, Metropolitan Police Department started to work with all of the fire departments in the valley, and we started to do training on how we could get in quicker to some of these emergencies. And we've developed this practice where we team up firefighters with police officers, and we go in early. And we get in with the police officers under their protection, and we go through, while the shooter may still be shooting, to get to the folks that have been injured and try to get them out quickly so that they have a better chance of survival. So I brought along a little video to show you of that. But I want to make sure that you guys are comfortable seeing it, and maybe you're not, and so I could show it after the meeting is over, or I could show it to you now. You guys tell me what you think. But it's of a training that we do and how we prepare for this kind of an emergency. So if you'd like to see it, would you like to see it? Okay. Okay.
Quiet and still until two active shooters pierce the peaceful morning with a small arsenal of weapons, taking out everyone in their path. All involved know this is just an exercise, but to the 200 participants, this is no game.
Today at City Hall, we tested an active shooter hostile event scenario.
This was a true test of our first responders' skills. Skills under extreme pressure. As the exercise continued, one shooter grabbed a badge needed to get to the 7th floor, and the other perched on the 2nd floor balcony overlooking the lobby, where he is ready for police to respond. That nightmare ended when officers caught him off guard from behind.
Shooter! Control, all 10-2, one suspect down.
Not until he goes down and is confirmed dead are the medical responders from Las Vegas, Clark County, Henderson, and North Las Vegas fire departments escorted in by officers to help the injured.
A lot of people think that fire representatives just put out fires, but today we had them dressed out in ballistic protection gear. We had their law enforcement partners providing them cover so they can come in and treat victims. Those kinds of tests of our system in today's modern world are critical to ensuring our preparedness for the reality.
The drama continued as the second active shooter managed to infiltrate the 7th floor using the badge she stole from security. Here, she is met by one of our veteran Las Vegas deputy city marshals from the City Department of Public Safety.
Put the gun down! Do it now!
She's held off until more officers arrive, killing her, preventing her from moving into offices where people are sheltering in place. This exercise brought together first responders from various agencies across southern Nevada. A tough lesson learned during the tragic events of 9/11 is that emergency workers from different organizations had difficulty communicating with each other.
We had all these different agencies from the Valley's law enforcement agencies, the Valley's fire department agencies coming together, establishing that unified element, that unified command, and we communicated together, which was important because we all have different radio channels, and we were able to use our new radio system to look at how we can communicate together and respond together, and that seamless communication when it comes to dealing with an incident like this is so important.
The documentation of this exercise will be extremely helpful to all the agencies so they can actions and response.
I just wanted to show you that and just to mention to you that the 1 October shooting was something that was responded to by all the Valley fire departments and all the police departments, and it's this kind of training that provided for us to be able to actually get out into the area where the people had been injured, as well as to clear the Mandalay Bay with our folks, every one of the floors. And so that's information that I just wanted to share with you. I also wanted to say thank you so much. I'll stay after if there's any questions, and thank you for inviting me.
Stay right here. So, as the chief mentioned, I completed the Citizens Fire Academy. If you have not heard of that or you're interested, that's where I heard him. You should definitely do it. You learn so much about the city's largest department is the fire department. So, Chief, we would like to present you with our Share What You Can award, where we will give a hot meal to a homeless vet in your name.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, thank you. And as I always say, Rotary is like tennis. The one who serves best usually wins. Now go forth and make a difference.